I wanted to share with you this comment I got on one of my videos. Urban gay culture is toxic, superficial, and empty, and predatory. I found a partner not within the so-called gay culture, but well outside of it. We've now been together for 37 years. And how about this one? I don't go to bars. I won't go to hookup websites because I don't like feeling cheap or used. So, if bars, clubs, or hookup apps are not for us, and we can't find a place in a superficial gay culture, where do we truly belong? Gay culture isn't one single thing, and for some people, those spaces do work. But if you've ever thought something might be wrong with you for not enjoying those more visible aspects of gay culture, I can reassure you, you are absolutely not alone. Your experience is more common than you might think. Many feel out of place in spaces where everyone seems obsessed with looks, quick hookups, or endless partying. It's natural to feel alienated if your values don't align with a scene that's mostly superficial or hookup focused. Feeling like an outsider in the gay world doesn't mean you're broken. It simply means your standards and desires are deeper or different, and that's totally okay. You might really want more meaningful conversations, more genuine connections, or deeper emotional intimacy. Things that can be so undervalued or even dismissed in those typical gay spaces. Many of us experience the so-called gay community as shallow and judgmental. If you've suspected that gay spaces focus way too much on physical appearance, youth, or instant gratification, you're absolutely right. Your discomfort isn't imagined. It's a genuine reflection of a culture that doesn't always celebrate deeper connections or authenticity. The pressure to look a certain way, dress a certain way, or behave in ways that don't feel true to you, this can be exhausting and demoralizing. I see this with people I talk to who doubt themselves and feel lonely. And I know how it can hurt to find yourself overlooked or rejected in those gay spaces. It can really mess with how you see yourself. When you walk into a bar and nobody even looks at you, or when your dating profile gets zero responses, when you feel like you don't measure up to what everyone seems to want, it cuts deep. These kinds of experiences happen all the time in gay bars and on apps, where people make split-second decisions based on how you look. But here's what's really happening. You haven't failed at anything. You've simply been in the wrong spaces. The apps, clubs, and parties, they cater to specific interests, and if those interests don't align with yours, of course you'll feel out of place. Just because mainstream gay culture highlights certain behaviors doesn't mean those behaviors should define you. So, if you've struggled to connect in such environments, that's not your failure. Those spaces are simply not for you. But here's the painful dilemma. Even if these spaces make you feel terrible, you might worry about what happens if you walk away from them. Especially as we get older, it gets harder to find genuine connection, and loneliness can hit hard when our usual social circles change or we've experienced loss. I know a lot of us worry, if I don't put myself out there in these spaces, how will I ever meet someone? Maybe you feel you've wasted time or that you're unsuccessful at being gay, but that's not true. The good news is there are alternatives, and we'll get to them in a bit. Finding someone might take longer when you're not playing the numbers game, but when you do connect with someone who actually gets you, it's so much more meaningful. It's worth saving your energy for spaces and relationships that actually feel good when they happen. Remember, getting ignored in gay bars or apps says nothing about your actual worth as a person. It only shows you've been looking for connection in places that don't appreciate what really matters. And that was a huge aha moment for me a few years ago. Now, if these thoughts resonate with you, I write a weekly newsletter where I share honest conversations about finding meaningful connections when you don't fit into typical gay spaces. Check out the link in the video description. So, back to my story. At some point, I decided to protect my energy by saying no to places that drained me or forced me to pretend. I learned to trust my instincts. They were telling me something important about who I really am and what I really wanted. If a bar made me feel invisible or judged, I stopped going. I got better at figuring out which conversations on dating apps were worth my time and which one weren't going anywhere. Choosing myself first was a game changer. It wasn't easy. I worried I'd miss out or end up being even more alone, but it turned out to be the best decision I ever made. I just felt so much better when I stopped trying to fit into spaces that weren't right for me and started spending time in places that I could actually be myself. So here's what I think is really going on. Deep inside, if you're like me, you want to be loved for who you actually are. Your character, your interests, your kindness, the way you think, sense of humor, how loyal and caring you can be. But when you look at the typical gay venues and apps, these qualities rarely get any spotlight. Think about it. When was the last time someone at a club asked you about what matters to you or what moves you emotionally? How many conversations on dating apps have gotten past small talk to explore who you really are? This disconnect explains so much about why we feel invisible sometimes. The very qualities that would make you an amazing friend or partner are often the ones that those popular gay spaces aren't set up to recognize. These deeper qualities matter a lot, but places focused on quick looks, quick judgments, and short chats don't give them much room to shine. So, where can you actually find your people? For me, it started with following what I genuinely enjoy doing. Think about your interests. Maybe it's books, hiking, music, art, or helping others. There are a ton of LGBTQ plus book clubs, outdoor groups, choirs, community theater groups, places where you meet people through doing something meaningful together. And here's the thing about these spaces. They attract people who feel much like what you're feeling. You'll meet men who are also tired of superficial connections, men who value depth and authenticity, who want to be seen for who they truly are. Some might have tried the club scene or apps and felt invisible there too. Others might never have been comfortable with that scene to begin with. You'll find people of different ages, backgrounds, and experiences. Not just one type of person who fits some narrow standard. What brings you together isn't looks or status, but shared values and interests. Don't have those options nearby? Online communities can work too. The key is finding spaces where conversations naturally go deeper than, hey, what's up? I've met guys in these settings who became real friends that I'd want to keep for life. What happens in these spaces feels totally different. You connect over shared interests first. So, by the time attraction enters the picture, you already know something about each other's character and values. Always remember, you are worthy of a community that truly sees and values the real you. Your path might look different from the mainstream, but it's uniquely yours. And that's exactly what makes it beautiful. So, my question to you is, where have you found the most genuine connections in your life? Let me know in the comments. Love you all.